Hi class! Today for grammar, we are going to be learning about past tense verbs and future tense verbs. If you remember, last week we learned about present text verbs. We're going to start by focusing on past tense verbs. A verb is an action word. An action can happen now, in the present, or in the past. Something could have already happened. Verbs that tell about the past, or something that has already happened, are past tense verbs. Regular past tense verbs have the ending ed added on the end. Let's take a look at these two sentences. Listen as I read them aloud. Sarah and Tom plant some flowers. Last month, we painted the school. Which of those two sentences has a past tense verb in the sentence? Which of those sentences tells about something that has already happened? The sentence, last month we painted the school, tells about an action that happened in the past. So this sentence must have a past tense verb in it. Second graders, can you see which word is the past tense verb in this sentence? Listen as I read it again. Last month, we painted the school. What is the action that is happening in this sentence? That's right, painting is the action. Last month, we painted the school. So our past tense verb is painted. It is something we did in the past. So we added the ending ed to the end to show that it has already happened in the past. Let's read this next sentence. We help our community. Second graders, how can we change this sentence to make it past tense? Right now it is present tense. We help our community. What could we do to the verb to make it past tense? Does anyone remember what ending we add to the verb to make it show that it is past tense? That's right, ed. We helped our community. By adding ed to the end of help, we created the verb helped to show that this action happened in the past. Our next sentence reads, I pick up trash. This is a sentence written in present tense. But how can we change this sentence to make it past tense? First, we need to figure out which word is the verb in this sentence. What is the action happening in my sentence? I pick up trash. That's right, the verb is pick. So if I want to show that I'm doing something in the past, what is the ending I add to the end of pick to show that it happened in the past? You got it, add ed to make the word picked. I picked up trash. That shows it happened in the past. All right, now we are going to shift gears and talk about future tense verbs. Just a reminder that a verb is an action word. An action can happen now, in the present, in the past, or, as we are about to find out, in the future. Some verbs tell about an action that will happen in the future. These verbs are called future tense verbs. The word will goes before the verb to make it future tense. So for these types of verbs, instead of adding ed, like we did earlier, to make a verb in the past tense, for future tense, we put the word will in front of the verb to show that something will happen in the future. Let's take a look at these two sentences. Listen as I read aloud. I walked in the park this morning. I will run in a race tomorrow. Second graders, which of those two sentences is talking about an action that will happen in the future? It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen. Which one? Sentence number 1 or sentence number 2? That's right, sentence number 2. Sentence number 2 describes an action that will happen in the future. I will run in a race tomorrow. Tomorrow is in the future. I will run tomorrow. So if I'm looking at this sentence, which word is a future tense verb? I will run in a race tomorrow. What is the action or verb in this sentence? You got it, run. I add the word will in front of the word run to show that it will happen in the future. I will run tomorrow. I'm going to show you how we can turn present tense to future tense. I have an example of 3 verbs on our screen: help, paint, and fix. Right now, these 3 verbs are in present tense, meaning they could be happening right now. I help someone, I paint the wall, I fix the plumbing. Help, paint, fix. Those are happening in the present. What do I add in front of each of these words to make it a future tense verb? Do you remember? That's right. I add the word will before each verb. Will help, will paint, will fix. To make those verbs future tense verbs, I will help you tomorrow. I will paint my room next week. I will fix the leaky sink next week. Adding the word will shows that this action will happen in the future. It has not happened yet. Let's read this sentence. He mows the grass. Right now, this sentence is in present tense. He mows the grass. It's happening right now. But how can we change this sentence to make it future tense? What do we add to the verb to show that something will happen later? We add the word will before the verb mow. He will mow the grass, showing it will happen in the future. The next sentence reads, I rake the leaves. That's showing I'm doing it right now. It is present tense. How can I change this sentence to make it future tense? Well, I think about which word is the action word. Which word is the verb in this sentence? I rake the leaves. What is the action? The action is rake. So if I want to show that this action will happen in the future, what do I add before the word rake? You guessed it. I add the word will. I will rake the leaves. Great work, team. Now, in Schoology, you are going to choose the correct verb for each sentence. Your sentence might be a sentence that is happening in the past, telling an action that happened in the past, so you will need to choose the correct past tense verb. You also may read sentences that are describing something that will happen in the future. And for those ones, you will need to choose the future tense verb that fits in the blank. Good luck, second graders. Thanks for following along.